Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review This War of Mine. Now, this game has been out for quite a while, and the prices that you'll find for it will vary. I myself had a press copy a long time ago, but for whatever reason, 11-Bit Studios didn't actually keep up with the patches on my press branch, so I was never able to run the game after a certain point. So I rebought the game for $3 just recently. So like I said, this game will go on sale often. And I had another go at it. And I highly recommend that you install the Steam Workshop mod that increases inventory space. It's the latest one. There's a lot of them out there. The reason why I installed that mod and no others is that your carrying capacity is extremely limited when you're scavenging for supplies at night. And I just feel like that's just too much of a restriction in order for me to fully enjoy the game. Now, I'm sure people will say, well, it's part of the experience, part of the difficulty. Well, I like a more lax experience, and the extra inventory stack size, I think, goes a long way to having to keep going back to the same location over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So anyway, what is This War of Mine? Well, you take on the group of, say, 3 people or so, depending on the scenario. The people that you get and the number of people will change based on the scenario. And there are DLCs for this game as well. But you're living in this rundown building, and the environment around you is very hostile. Just imagine this post-apocalyptic environment where, you know, this entire city is like being ravaged and seized, and bandits are rampant. It's nasty. And you are nobodies. You're just average people trying to survive. We recently played the tabletop game, which is why I gave this another spin. The differences between This War of Mine, the video game, and This War of Mine, the board game, is that with the board game, you can kind of see what you're doing all at once all the time, whereas in the video game, there's some quality of life features missing. When you're out scavenging, for example, you don't know what you have at your base unless you've written it down or remembered it. So, like, you're like, well, how many parts did I need to build this thing for the next day? Well, hopefully this is enough, you know, that kind of thing. This is also real time, and there's no way to fast forward time during the day. So you might be sitting there, there's not enough time to do what I need to do, or I've got too much time on my hands. I can either end the day prematurely, or I can just boot up something on my phone and do that. If you Alt-Tab out of the game pauses, and there's no way around that. So you have to, like, leave the game running while you do something else and then come back to it, you know, a couple minutes later. I'll just quickly show you around a bit. This game has been out for quite a while. In case you're wondering, 11-Bit Studios also did Frostpunk, and their upcoming Frostpunk 2, which I'm really excited for. Options menu, just real quick. Just pause if you want to see any of this in greater detail, but what you see here is what you get. Then there's continue, where I will go ahead and show you. Unfortunately, if I go to another try, it will pretty much just overwrite my existing save, which I don't like. But when you do start a new game, you can choose, like, your scenario. And each scenario is catered to, like, particular survivors. Like, I think the first scenario is, like, Pavel, Katia, and Bruno, I think his name is. Anyway, that's the one I'm currently working on, and there's other ones that you can play. And again, there's DLC packs that add new ones. Whether or not they work, I couldn't tell you. So there's the Workshop Center, as I mentioned. You can activate your mods from here. There's a Stories mode, which is like Discover the War of Mine stories, if you want to read more about the lore and all that jazz. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And the way this game works in terms of saving, it saves at the beginning of every day. So if you need to save scum for whatever reason, or, you know, something happens, like, let's say that you're out at night scavenging and you die, you can get out of the game, but you have to repeat the entire game. And there's no hard save option. Like, you cannot choose when to save. The game auto-saves at the beginning of every day. I think that's an awful feature. I was hoping for a little bit more than that. So what are we looking at here? Like I said, I can't really pause the game. I can hit spacebar to pause, but you can't see anything when I do that. Again, you start off in this shelter, and you're not going to have everything I have here. You're going to start off digging away rubble and looking through furniture and heaps and different things like that in order to start scavenging for supplies. If I click on Our Things in the upper left-hand corner, you can see some of the items that you may encounter in this game. You'll have to to worry about bandages for wounds, food, like canned food. There's also regular food. There's medications in case you get sick. Some of your survivors will be like smokers or coffee drinkers, so you need to supply them with cigarettes and coffee beans and different things like that. There's different fertilizers for growing crops, vegetables, and raw beef. Then there's various tools like crowbars. Crowbars are used at night in order to get past certain doors and cabinets that are locked, although you could use a lockpick in order to make that a bit more quiet. There's hatchets that you can use. I highly recommend the hatchet because not only does it serve as a nice weapon, but you'll be able to break up objects in the environment, either in your base or when you're out scavenging at night. So you'll be able to break furniture apart for wood, and wood is one of the main components that you need in this game in order to either build stuff or make fuel to fuel your furnaces, because the game will get cold after a while, or the scenario will throw winter at you, and you have to survive that as well, otherwise you get sick. Shovel for digging away rubble faster. Like you can dig with your hands, or you can have the characters dig with their hands, but having a shovel makes that 10 times faster. They do have a durability. The saw blades that you don't see here and the lock picks is their one-time use, but the shovel and the hatchet, the crowbar, you can use those multiple times up to a point. Materials that you'll come across, like shell casings and components, medicinal ingredients, parts, weapon parts, broken stuff that you can fix at a certain workshop in order to make make these better items. There's alcohol, wood. Let's see what else we got. Books. We got jewelry, moonshine. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Fuel, some weapons that I've acquired up to this point. I've gotten some shotguns, pistols, knives, ammunition, a helmet. I gathered most of these from enemies that I've killed in this game. Now, I gotta mention and stress that you people are nobodies. So certain people are better at combat than others, and even then, even the higher ranked people, unless you do like a stealth kill, the combat is RNG in the sense that it's like a turn-based combat. You click on the enemy to attack them, the computer rolls dice in the background, and whoever had the better score, whatever, hits the other player. And that could be, you're not taking turns hitting each other. It's just you're rolling virtual dice and hoping that you hit your opponent before he hits you or something like that. So, and combat is really brutal in this game. So stealth kills are the way to go. I use the hatchet. You could bring along other things if you want. The knife is okay, but the hatchet, I think, along with a high combat character, is great for stealth killing. On rare occasion, I haven't, like, I stealth killed 3 out of 4. The one that I did not kill, his health was like a sliver, and I just finished him off by clicking on him, and I won the combat roll, and I hit him. And then you can loot the bodies and get weapons and ammo and different things like that. So yeah, that's the our things. And on the right, some thoughts. You can see what you have and what you don't have, and you know how many cigarettes you consume per day, cups of coffee. You can also board up your base a number of times and add a reinforced door in order to combat night raids, which happen at the end of every night. Now, I keep mentioning like day phases and scavenging and night. The game is broken up into days, and every day there's a morning phase where you're going to be throughout the day doing things around your homestead, which is where we're at right now. Once the clock ticks down all the way around in the upper left, which you can't see yet, then you get to pick a location to scavenge with one character. In the board game, you can actually use multiple, but in this game, you pick one person to scavenge with. The rest will either sleep or guard your homestead at home. And then you go out, and you can bring stuff with you, like lockpicks or weapons, and so on. Yeah, so upper left-hand corner, the current day, 34 is for me right now. It's 7 a.m., 75 degrees. Like I mentioned, there is a winter mechanic. So I had to build these furnaces up here and constantly supply it with fuel. Fuel is made via, these workshops here that I'm interacting with in order to, make fuel. I can turn wood into fuel. I know you can't see it. I'm going to go ahead and move my face. On the bottom right-hand corner are my characters themselves. There's Bruno, who's a good cook. There's Pavel, which is a fast runner, and Katya, who has bargaining skills. Usually, you have to pay an arm and a leg for trading. She reduces that penalty. So throughout the base, there's furnaces. Like here, you would just add fuel to the fire. Here's a crafting station up here. There's beds that you can sleep in. Let's see, hungry, and you're tired. I should probably have her interact with a bed to sleep. So yeah, this is the improved metal workshop. When I say improved, you can actually upgrade workstations to unlock better recipes or more efficient recipes. The improved cook stove, for example, allows you to make food for cheaper resources. But you can construct a number of things there. I'm going to go and have her sleep, though. I have 2 beds, one here, one here. That way people can sleep throughout the day as needed. That way one can stay on guard at night. I have a little guitar over here that I can interact with, and that will improve morale depending on who's playing the guitar. And it seems like it's just a chance, though. Here's the, I think that's the workshop where you can build chairs. This is like your main one. Beds, chairs, guitars, simple heater, radio, stoves, herbal gardens workshops, moonstill, alcohol distiller, traps for small animals, rainwater collector. There's a lot of things. Fuel, filters, advanced components to upgrade your workstations. So there's a number of things there. You've got a kitchen area where you've got all your food. This is tough. Food is one of the biggest things you'll have to contend with in this game. I have a rainwater collector down there. I might interact with... Oh, it looks like this food is ready. Let's go and interact with that real quick. I've got 2 cages in the basement. Whether or not that's smart or not, I have not had any... I've not seen any penalties for placing certain things in certain places. I just place wherever there's room. So I can either give up 1 food to possibly get 2 sometime in the future. It doesn't say it knows how long. I can give up a canned food, which is absolutely no, and then a fertilizer. But I use my fertilizer to grow vegetables, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to give up 1 food now to make 2 food later. So it will return to me. It's like an investment. I'm making vegetables over here via this vegetable garden. You cannot move things. You can break them down with the hatchet. At least some things, but not all things. Like these traps I can't seem to move, which is kind of unfortunate. There's the rainwater collector here. Let's just see if I can interact with it. Yep, okay. I was in the process of making water with this, and then winter hit, and then the rainwater collector went kaput. And then I had to... There was a little snow interaction bubble right here, and I could interact with snow, collect it, and then heat it and turn it into water that way. But typically you need a filter. And when you construct a filter and you interact with the rainwater collector, it'll just produce more water for you. In terms of like status effects, like I said, you click on a character and you look on the bottom right. Katya is hungry and tired. There's even a bio you can click on, and she's a coffee drinker, so she likes her coffee. If you don't give them things that they like, they may get sad. If the homestead is too cold, they might get ill. If you're not well protected, bandits may come at night. After the night phase, which I'll get to, you may suffer wounds, and so you might need, medicines here, or even alcohol to calm yourself down. People can get depressed in this game. One of the biggest challenges is resources are finite in this game. You go out and scavenge, but resources do not restock unless you're at like a vendor location. Vendors, I think, restock their stuff on occasion. Like the garage, I think, may restock their stuff. But anyway, you just can't murder people left and right in this game and take all their stuff unless they're like bandits or really bad people. If you get the sense that they're really bad because of their speech bubbles, you can kill them without penalty typically. But if you try and just off a normal person, your person that did the killing, you might loot them, fine. But when you come back, they're going to be so depressed, they're not going to want to do anything. And they're going to be out of commission for a couple of days. So it's like, everything's so fragile in this game. Like, you have to really pay attention to what you're doing. All right, she's hungry and he's hungry, so I'll just have them 2 feed. I try to keep Pavel here stocked on food all the time because I think that does affect your combat. And he's the one I send out every night because he's the fast runner. Katya, I just have excess food right now. I've never beaten this game, to be honest with you. I'm actually farther than I've ever been. So I want to play this out to its fruition. There is a radio that you can interact with, and you can kind of see what's going on if you turn it enough. As if the war wasn't enough, crime is on the rise. There are reports of armed assaults and robberies. So I need to make sure that people are on guard at night. I can play music on the radio, and that will hopefully calm people down. You can't actually see it happen, like the game does not say +1 happiness because of radio. No, these things just happen in the background. You may notice them, you may not. So there's a lot of question marks as to what really works and what doesn't, except for those that have played this game enough to know what the meta is and all that. So yeah, you're going to be using this building in order to build various, they're called fittings in the board game. And yeah, so that's the day phase. Now I can end the day early, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And now we're into the night phase, and this is where we can go out and scavenge for supplies. I visited a lot of these locations already. I'm thinking I want to finish up this small apartment building. I didn't completely loot it. There were bandits here, and I offed all of them with Pavel just by stealth killing. I hid behind a cupboard, and as they walked by, I used my hatchet and clicked the button, and it killed them instantly. I'm going to have one person guard and the other one sleep in the bed. If they can sleep on the ground, but they don't like it. So scavenge. We'll go ahead and scavenge at the small apartment building. There are other places I haven't been yet. Some you just know never to go to because it's not worth it unless you're willing to deal with depression. Because like this quiet house, for example, I can tell you what's there. I'm not going to spoil it. It's been out for how many years, I know. But I'm not going to spoil it. But going here and doing things and taking things will depress your character to no end. So yeah, I'm just going to go to the small apartment building. I've pretty much looted all of it. I'm going to hit prepare. And I think I've actually, I don't think I need to bring a hatchet, but I'll go ahead and bring it anyway, just in case I missed something. Actually, I am going to bring the hatchet so I can break down wood at that location and bring it back with me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit scavenge. You can bring saw blades because there are bars that you might have to cut through, or a shovel to get through rubble more quickly. You are timed in this as well. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a clock, and if you don't leave the location when the clock expires, then there's a chance your character may not make it back or may get injured. There are places in the environment that you can hide, like this one, for example, and that will allow you to, stealth kill people as they walk by. I'm just going to quickly run around the environment and see if I missed anything. Oh, let's interact with that. Sometimes you just get these fluffy things. They've taken down all the pictures, but left this one. Okay. This is a very adult, gruesome game, for the record. Death, destruction, killing. Yeah. So kids should not play this. Okay, so this hand means that there's something there I didn't get from the last time. Probably just leftovers that I didn't want to bring, but yeah. Nothing great there. Let's come up here. Ooh. Oh, that's just a window popping. There's a little red circle that's sort of flashing at me. That simply means that noise is being made. And you can use that as an indicator as to, like, if there's anyone nearby. I have not figured out how to way to get up to this attic, assuming there was a way to do it. But let's jump over there and grab whatever this is. It's a broken guitar, which I could just either repair and then sell, or just sell it as is. Alright, we'll take all of that. Great. And this hatchet means I can break this apart and get some wood. That will lower the durability of my hatchet, but hey, wood is wood. I'll take it. And fuel. Fuel is also a good thing to have. So there's 8 wood and 4 fuel. I'll just grab all of it. And like I said, you normally wouldn't be able to carry what I'm carrying right now. I'm carrying a lot because of the Steam Workshop mod, which pretty much gives you almost infinite on the stacks, which is so helpful. Let's go ahead and break that apart as well. Alright, loot that. I've pretty much looted this entire place. Yeah, we'll take all that. Okay. And yeah, what's sad is that like one slot in your inventory is like 2 wood. So if I had looted wood in this, I've got 12 slots available. So 2 times 12 is 24. This wood would take up more than half my inventory, as is standard. But having the extra stack I just think is good, because this game is hard enough. It really is. Okay, I don't see a way up to this attic, assuming there is a way, and I'm not seeing anything else here, but I've completely looted it, I'm pretty sure. It was 99% already. You can double-click to run. Is there anything else I can break apart? No. Okay. I think we're good. All right, let's go ahead and just get out of here. Oh, there's a couple of hatchet things there. Might as well. Waste not, want not. I'm never coming back to this location. So I might as well take the resources and, use the wood as fuel as needed. Your stove needs, in order to cook food, you need fuel as well. So having the extra wood and having the extra fuel is, why not, All right, so loot that. So as far as like a review goes, this game is old. There are a lot of like quality of life things that I think could improve the game. I'm sure there are other tabletop simulator, or not tabletop simulator, the Steam Workshop mods that address that problem, but I have not found them yet. And because this game is older, a lot of those mods no longer work. So trying to figure out which ones work, which ones doesn't, which ones will crash your game, that's annoying. The one I'm using right now seems to be doing just fine. All right, and that is, we're rinsing and repeating here. We come back, we repeat the day. We've been raided, but we fended off the robbers. I've boarded up the location. I've got a security door, a reinforced door, and I have a plenty of guns and ammunition. I had someone on guard, so it looks like we're okay. But yeah, like I said, quality of life things that could make the game better, like a save, a constant save that you can save no matter where you are. And again, better workshop support, I think, would be awesome. Again, the ability to adjust difficulty in this game is not here. So you're left with just a really hard, difficult game unless you do install those mods in order to make the game easier. Do I recommend it? Yeah, on a deep sale, absolutely. If you don't mind replaying the game over and over and over again to see what works and what doesn't, then I think you really enjoy the game. You just have to be careful, though, because, like I said, these are normal people, and crap could hit the fan just like that, and a character dies. You can recruit new characters. Some people will come to your door during the day. Some might be traders, which you can barter with. Some people might be survivors, in which case you can bring them in or you can turn them away. It all depends on what you think their value is. But yeah, I do recommend this War of Mine on a deep sale. I only say that because, like, again, this game is no longer supported by the developer, as far as I can tell. In fact, a funny story, and you probably don't care, but when I was having issues getting my press copy to run, I emailed 11-Bit Studio. It took them 3 days to get back to me just to ask me if I had tried things on their website. And I said I had already done that. Another day goes by. Okay, can you explain the situation? So I did. So I waited another day. And then I waited another day. And then they got back to me. Did you try this? And I said, yes, I tried this. Another day. So we're looking at like a week to a week and a half of me not being able to run this game. I'm getting one response per day. Finally, it's been, I screenshotted the error, which was it was a missing exe file. Half the files in the game were missing. And I checked the Steam forums. Other people had the same issue. Apparently, when they updated the game from an inherent launcher to something else, they removed the exe file, then repatched it back in. And I guess they never did that with the press version. So I was left without things while the retail version had everything that they needed. And I emailed back. I got an email back 3 days later saying, we're going to send this to our developers because I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, really? So it's been 2 weeks now. And I'm like, okay, so I just rebought the game thinking it was a press copy issue for $3 on a different website. And I got it and it works. So I figured it out on my own. And it's been 2.5 weeks now, and 11-Bit still doesn't know what the heck to make of it. So just be warned. I tell you this story because if you're expecting any sort of customer service from these people, so that's all I'm going to say. So my suggestion is buy this game on a sale. That way, if it doesn't work, or especially on Steam, you can refund it on Steam, assuming it's under like the 2-hour limit or whatever. But yeah, I recommend the game. Just be warned, it's older, some of the mods don't work for it, and quality of life issues may make you frustrated, but it's still a fun experience, although a bleak one. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.